Hey everybody, welcome to the Slick Tree Podcast. I'm your host, Colby Langford. The point of this show is to help improve ourselves as dogmen and to raise the quality of the dogs on the end of our lead. So let's settle in, turn the volume up, and let's see if we can't learn a trick or two together from our guests. Hey everybody, you are listening to the Slick Tree Podcast. I'm your host, Colby Langford, and today I've got Jody Mullins on the phone. How are you doing today, Jody?
I'm doing fine, man.
Yeah, Jody, I don't know much about you. I know you've got a line of Feist dogs that are real popular. Tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from?
Well, I was originally from Tennessee. Lived in Ridgestop, Tennessee. I actually lived next door to Willie Nelson for several years. And then I moved to Arkansas when I was about 30. And been here ever since.
Yeah. How was Willie Nelson as a neighbor?
Super neighbors. I got to meet a lot of people. I got to meet Chris Christopherson and I can't remember all of them, but a pile of them. Waylon Jennings, Farron Young. Waylon Jennings he was a character, man. I mean, he kept you laughing all the time.
I bet. How were you introduced to tree dogs, Jody?
Well, I had pigeons, still got them, roller pigeons. And I was losing a lot of pigeons. The guy told me, he said, you ought to get you some kind of little tree dog, get them. So I seen an ad in the Farm Bureau paper. And I can't remember this guy's name, but went over in East Tennessee mountains. And he had these dogs for 3 generations of people. His granddaddy, Daddy, and him. So I just asked him a little bit about him. Was it a tree opossum or a cat, a coon, whatever's eating my pigeons up? And he said, oh, yeah. They tree anything with hair on them. And so I got 2 dogs, a yellow Jip and a black Jip. And they started out young treeing house cats and possums. And about the time they got to be 10 or 11 months old, they started treeing squirrels and groundhogs. They was pretty good on them groundhogs. And that's what got me started. And I said, well, heck, I want to raise some of them. So I went and found a kinfolk to them, a male. And that's how I got started with them. And I just kept them back and forth, tight bred. Just use the best, you know. And that's how I got started in them. They're still black and still yellow. And I've changed their looks a little bit over the years. I've made them a little bit stouter headed, a little bit stouter in the body, a little more leg on them. That's just what I liked. And over the years, they followed it, you know. They just kept looking a little better, I thought, all the time. And I sold all my dogs to Jake Alexander in Louisiana here a while back. I've been having a little heart problems and knew I couldn't do them justice. But my nephew sent me 4 dogs that he raised. And out of 2 dogs, I let him have 2 black males and 2 solid red females. And I got an old dog stays in the house most times. She's 10 years old. And she's out of the old slick dog. But she'll stay street all day long. I mean, squirrels, she'll treat possums at night. Pretty well anything with hair coons. She just hates anything with hair on it.
Yeah. What year was it that you got them original two Jeeps? About
In 74.
You've had them a minute then.
Yep, and I learned if I had bred them like the old timers back then told me to breed them, said, "Oh Lord, you can't breed them two dogs. They got the same granddaddy." You know, that was tight breeding to them. If I'd listened to them, I wouldn't have had anything. But I got a good buddy lives out in Oklahoma, Muskogee. He had the best roller pigeons, show pigeons in the country. I mean, the very best. And I actually followed my pedigrees and tried to mimic the way he had them pigeons bred. And it worked pretty good for me. And excuse me. And that's how I've been breeding them for all this time. Just tight bred. Had very little problems out of them. And I went to where used to, when I started, you get maybe one really good dog out of a litter of puppies. And when I say good, I'm talking about good. I'm not talking about something a tree or squirrel. And now you raise a litter of puppies and shoot all of them going to be really nice dogs, you know. You hardly get a dud. If you get a dud, it's usually whoever had it. Them young dogs I got now, I hadn't been able to fool with them, but I had the first kill the other day on one of them, the biggest red female. She made her a big snake up, so. They're bad old snakes. I mean, bad. They're bay hogs. Kill a bunch of hogs with them. My son had a little old red dog, solid red, and he was about the roughest one I ever seen on hogs. We got him on a video. Well, actually, the old slick dog was with him too, and baying on big old boy, big boy, 305 pounds, big set of teeth on him. And when he come by the boy that was filming, and he was hanging on the back end of that hog, and his feet just touching, back feet touching the ground every once in a while, that hog running off with him. But he didn't go very far. He had to stop. He couldn't stand that dog hanging on his back end, you know.
About how big are the line of dogs you've made?
These dogs weigh, I like to keep a male that weighs close to 30 pounds. And I want my females to weigh about 22 to 25. We got a lot of water here, this is flat country, big country, no fences, no blacktop roads where you hunt, but a lot of water. And you get a short dog where that water's having to hit his chest, he's trying to go across it. He wears them out quick. And these little bit longer legged dogs handle it a lot better, you know. Mm-hmm. But I used to coon hunt mine. I killed more coons with them when the hides was high. Back in the old days, when they coons, even these southern coons would bring $25, $30. And I had a good hound, but only thing I hunted when them hides got high was these fives. They tree one right quick, and I tote 3 is all I tote. And a lot of times I'd be home by 8 o'clock. You know, that's about the same time a bunch of other hunters was getting in the woods. I was already through, you know.
Mm-hmm. What else can you tell me about their conformation? Just kind of their head build and their ear set and their type of ear.
Yeah, but all of them got turnover ears. No prick-eared dogs. Slick hair. When I got them, most all of them was like a double coated hair, like the original old cur dogs had on them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're slick now. Actually, for hunting, some of them a little too slick, you know, and briars and stuff will scratch them up. It's not gonna kill them anyway. But I like a slick-haired dog. Good conformation. I don't want something stupid looking, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I want straight legged with a lot of go. If they don't have the go, they never would stay here from the beginning. I don't want a dog that you have to walk beside me, you know. I don't need any help, and if they're not gone and where I can't see them and looking for a squirrel from the time you turn loose to dark, I didn't want them, you know. I just don't want to keep them, and that's how I sort of set the goal. I just didn't want a pretty good dog. I wanted the best I could produce, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a lot of good friends over the years with these dogs. And had a lot of good times. Killed several thousand squirrels. Enjoyed every minute of it.
Tell me about the tails and dews on your dogs.
Don't have don't have dew claws. Every once in a while you get the right two dogs together and they'll produce one with dew claws. But I prefer not to keep one with dew claws because I don't cut them off and they'll have your dog limping and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them is natural born bobtails. In fact, the little dog laying in the other room with my wife right now, she don't even have a tail. Which, when you're breeding dogs, you really need to watch that. You don't want to breed that dog to a short tail natural bob. You want to breed her to a dog that had a long tail when he was born, you know. You can get them too short. I've raised one puppy that his tail was so short up into the backbone that his back legs wouldn't work. It was like he was short, like 2 or 3 vertebrae on his spine, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I like a natural bobtail, but over the years I got so good at cutting them, you can't tell if they're natural or not, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I had a super dog here one time that was long-tailed. The old Jip got up under a building and had these puppies, and I couldn't get to them. I said, oh, that's just going to be bad. So when they finally started coming out, there was a couple natural bobtail Jips. One of them was about the best looking dog I'd ever seen. She was yellow with big white trim on her, white blaze face. This was just an old, plain looking yellow dog with a long tail. So, guy called me up. He said, "You got any puppies for sale?" I said, "Yeah, I do have a puppy for sale." And I said, "She's sort of ugly and she yellow with a long tail, and I'll let you have her. And he said, I'll be fine. And so he's coming the next weekend to get it. I walked out in the yard, just sitting there watching my pigeons and my dogs. And a squirrel come down, hopped across the yard there and went up a little old gum tree. Well, when this female hit that track coming from the far building down there, she just about like a bird dog. Man, she wheeled and turned this way. She didn't go 4 foot backwards, and she spun right around and went the right way. Went right to that gum tree, smelled up that gum as high as she could, put her feet on it, and went to break every breath with her feet on it. I said, boy, I done messed up bad now. That guy come the next weekend, and like I say, one of them, all of them good looking besides her, and the other, man, it looked like a show dog. It was colored up beautiful. Had a short natural bobtail on it, and when he got here, I said, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you just have the pick of them 2 puppies there. You can pick it either one you want. Don't matter any to me. And you know what he picked. The pretty one, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that left me with she wasn't ugly, but she just wasn't classy, wasn't. The kids named her Whiskers. And she was one of my best all-time dogs. She put a lot of people dog back in the dog box. And at lunch, they wouldn't even take them out that evening when we went to hunt. She was a pretty well little old super dog.
Did she reproduce well?
I kept one jip off of her, and she never did have very many puppies, maybe 2 litters. I kept a red jip that really made a nice dog, really a nice dog, and I didn't want to see her get old, so I sold her. I guess she was 10, maybe a little older than 10, and this guy was in Georgia, I think. And somebody said, why are you crazy selling that dog? I said, man, I didn't want to go out there and just see her getting old, you know. Mm-hmm. This guy's wanting to hunt, and he'll hunt her, you know. And actually, after he got her, he raised the litter puppies out of her. I'd say 10 plus. I can't remember how many months. But Whiskers one, I got 4 dogs buried here, and she's one of them.
If we can jump back just a little bit, I was hoping I could get you to tell me a little bit more about the pigeon breeding and how that buddy of yours did his breeding, and kind of how you carried that over into the breeding your line of dogs. Could you go into a little bit more detail about the crosses?
Yeah, like I say, this guy's name is Merle Ed Emerson, lives in Muskogee. And this was the late 70s. He was getting $500 a pigeon on a bunch of his birds back then. And he was the master breeder. People all over the nation would come out to him. And that's the first thing he told me. He said, outcrossing, he said, even if they're nice looking and one shows or place big in shows, he says the wrong way to go. He said you're a whole lot better off breeding to a nice bird that's really kin to your birds. Don't breed anything that's not nice, though. It's got to be nice. And that's how he bred half brothers, half sisters. Daddy's back daughters, all of that, you know. Sons back to their mama. Just kept them tight. We called it tight winding, like a watch. You want that spring in that watch as tight as you can get it. Because if you put anything in there that's not the same blood of those birds, you unwind your spring in. You unwind it way, then you got to start trying to wind it again, getting that outside blood out of it, you know. You just hardly never do well with the outcross. Some of these dogs have been bred to everything and produce good puppies. You know, they've been bred to mountain curs and everything. And the first generation usually does pretty good, but they lose it pretty quick. You know, the next generation, they'll breed back to something else that's not even kin to it. So now you got a four-way cross, really, you know. No consistency in all at all. But that's how I followed them pigeon pack. I looked at them on what's kin to kin again. That's how I bred those dogs. I used the same philosophy in them. And their these old show rollers we used to, you could follow some of their pedigrees back to 1938 when they first come in the country from Birmingham, England. Very, very popular bird back then, and now it's just, I don't know, just faded out. The interest has been lost in them. They used to be shows we'd go to. I've been to California and Baltimore, Maryland, and pretty well everything in between. And 900 birds at a show, very common. 800, 900, maybe over 1,000. You know, it was pretty nice. About the funniest hobby I ever been in, you know.
Yeah.
But it was, they paid for themselves. I say that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Most hobbies won't pay for itself. You just put money, you just throwing money in it, you know. But,
yeah, I actually keep a couple homers. I keep about a dozen homers in a little loft here at the house. I kind of bought them to start out training, working with bird dogs with them, and I didn't use them working with the bird dogs as much as I thought I would, and I just ended up liking having them around. My little girl and my wife and my little boy love them, and we just kind of keep them around just to have some flying.
That guy I was telling you about in Muskogee, he don't have any birds now, but when he moved to the East Coast, he got into racing homers.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the type guy, like, so he had the best rollers, and he wanted the best racing homers. So he went to Belgium and stayed, I don't remember how many weeks, going to all these racing homer lofts, looking at their birds, just soaking all the knowledge in he could, and then buying some birds and come back with them. And the first year he raced and stuff, he was in the money, just like he had been in the rollers.
Mm-hmm.
He had all they call them combines, where they'll fly birds, and he'd keep birds. Somebody'd seen him a young bird, and he'd keep those birds and charge them so much a month, and he'd start training them for him. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they take them a mile from the house, and then 2 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles, and just worked them up to where they was in good shape and ready to fly. You know.
Well, why don't you tell me about how you like to start a pup? We'll kind of go through how you do that and what methods you use. If you just let them run until they do it.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm the worst dog trainer in the world. I turn a puppy loose in the yard. I've always been fortunate. be able to where I could turn them loose. And when that puppy starts treeing me a squirrel, I shoot it out to him. I don't put nothing in a live trap. I don't hang a dead squirrel up. You teach them a lot of bad habits. You get them jumping at the tree when they can see that squirrel in the cage. And that's a bad habit. It'll cost you some trouble, when a dog jumps up on the tree and falls back on another dog. And you're going to have trouble. But let them do it natural. I never wanted a dog that I had to train to tree a squirrel, I've seen people train them and get them slapped in their leg and stuff when they're treed. And the whole time you're going to them, they're having to holler to make sure that dog won't leave a tree. I turned them loose, and then I kept the best of them. That's how I've done it for however many years I've been in this here now, 50 years, or I'm 76 now, so yeah. And that's the reason they come really natural, they just got generations behind them. All of them was good dogs. I mean, I didn't use no junk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a lot of fun. I'm an old man now, and I know it's pretty well over. But I'm enjoying every mile I put in behind them. Up to a few years ago, we was hunting. Our average day's hunting was from 5 to 13 miles. We didn't go out there and play with it. We got serious about it. We used to rack them up. Me, Shane Mason, and Wade Hildebrand in a 3-day period. Now, I'm talking about all-day hunts. Eat a bologna sandwich at lunch, drink a bottle of water, and go right back. We killed 241. That's the most we've ever killed, or I ever killed. They might have killed more, but that's a pile of squirrels. And a lot of people think, oh, that guy's lying. He can't kill two. We had Friday evening picture. I think it was 79 squirrels on 2 different tailgates, and both boxes was lined up with them. Made a pretty picture. But you kill 79 in one evening, and that morning we killed over 40. So don't take long to rack up 241.
Mm-hmm. That's a pile.
That's a pile. I mean, people started toting squirrels. I always try to forget oh, dang, I forgot my squirrel vest, Because I've been there when that squirrel vest couldn't get no more in one, Your back would be killing you by the time dark got here.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a good buddy lives up the road here, and I sold him a light yellow male, like Jay Lash. I think he's a big coon hunter, and his dog won the world hunt, I think, maybe last year, or it ticked Jill. But he had this dog called him Hammer and Hank, and he was a powerhouse now. We'd hunt him and old Whiskers together, and it was them 50 squirrel mornings, It was. I'll tell you a funny story on that 50 squirrel mornings, though, man. We had several people with us. I don't know how many, 4, 5, 6. And we counted our squirrels at the tailgate. We had 49 it was about 10:30 in the morning. And I said, Jay, I ain't quitting at 49. I said, I'm going to kill another squirrel. He said, I'll go with you. And them other boys said, oh, we'll just go to the camp and wait on you. Y'all hunt through and come out at the camp, and we'll be waiting for you. We're all of us tired. So me and old Jay, me and old, heck, I went blank there for a minute. That's old man for you, Jay Lash. We hunted, it's a 3/4 of a mile from where we were sitting to the deer camp. The second, them boys they about pulled up in the deer camp, and we was just to the good woods. It started raining so hard you couldn't see. Hardest rain I've ever been in my life. And it done that all the way to the deer camp, and we never treed another squirrel. We left with 49. I wouldn't have believed it, but I guess that rain just drove them all in. It was raining so hard you couldn't have looked up and found the squirrel, probably. We was wet through the underwear, you know.
Mm-hmm. How all do you cook squirrel, and what's your favorite way to eat it?
I want it fried, and here's how I like a squirrel. Somebody else dress it, give it to me, and then I'll fry it. That's my favorite way. But most of them boys won't give you a mess of squirrels back now. I had a buddy I hunted with a bunch, and I try to give them all away, you know. And I used to give him a bunch of squirrels. I mean, we killed a bunch of squirrels. I won't call no names, but his daddy would take them squirrels and trade them for dope. He's an old marijuana smoker. So whoever was the dope dealer liked squirrels, so he'd trade squirrels for dope.
That's the first I've ever heard of that kind of deal going on.
Yeah, that's me too. And I guess he's still smoking dope, but
yeah,
that's something. I was in a generation, you know, a lot of stuff going on and stuff, but I never smoked any dope in my life.
Yeah. Tell me about how you like to. What's your process on frying them? Just walk me through everything you use, start to finish.
Okay, I like there's a seasoning called Morrison's Natural Seasoning. It's got salt and pepper. It's got a lot of different things in it. But I like to take that squirrel, pick all the hair off of him, because you know there's going to be some on him.
Always.
Always. I take the back legs and cut into the back legs in the thickest part all the way to the bone. I get them in that Morrison's Natural Seasoning, and I put flour on them, you know, cover them up real good. And then I start my skillet pretty high. I put them in there fast where it'll brown them on each side. I'm not trying to cook them through then. Then I turn that skillet down and put a top on it and let it 45 minutes maybe, something in that range, depending on how much heat you got on it, and, you know, all that. And then you take the top off of it, and you can go back and just sizzle it a little more for brown. But then it's tender. You don't have to chew on it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That top and low heat, I guess it steams it a whole lot, you know.
Mm-hmm. Almost kind of pressure cooks it, I guess.
Yeah. And like I say, but if you don't get it brown first, you're not going to really like it, because that old flour and everything is gummy on it. You know, you want to crisp that flour up to make it look brown. Just just what you think it should look like, and then put the top on it and cut it down below.
What kind of grease you like to use for that?
Well, bad as I hate to say it, I really like lard, but my wife, she thinks she knows better and buys like corn oil or something like that.
I agree with you on the using animal fats. I think it fries stuff way better.
It does, and we growed up in the country. You know, that's all my mama ever used, and granddaddy and grandma. You know, they all lived a pretty good life, a pretty old life. So, heck, it was good enough for them. It's good enough for me. But I'll tell you a funny story on that lard guy next door to us. He had 2 big old English coon dogs. They had 3 coon, and they run loose on the farm. He had a basement. They killed hogs one year, several hogs, and they put the fat in a great big cast iron pot, you know, that you used outside, and you know, it'd probably hold 3 5-gallon buckets of hog fat, you know. He'd cook that down, and that made the lard, and in that you had cracklings, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Old country people, like where I was, they'd make cornbread with cracklings in it and stuff, but he put up a bunch of lard in his basement. And these old dogs he had always looked rough. They always looked like they could use something to eat, you know. Old dull hair on them and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So
I went up there one day and I said, "What, Donald?" I said, "These dogs is looking nice. I mean, they're fat and slick." He said, "You know what?" He said, "They don't hardly ever eat anything either. It's funny." About a week later, he found out why they was fat and slick. They had went down there, and that door he had locked going to his basement. They went there and chewed it up big enough on the corner where they could squeeze through it and turned over about every lard bucket in there, and they'd been eating that pure hog lard. So they about ate him out of having lard. But they was pretty. I mean, they was slick and pretty.
I bet they were.
And fat. Yeah, they was fat.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about how you like to hunt your dogs. Do you walk hunt them, or did you like to cast hunt them, or
walk hunt them? I'll start them in the direction I want to go, and if you don't stay up with these dogs, I mean, if you don't try to keep some distance, cut the distance between you and them, you're going to get behind. And I'm always walking. I'm going the way I think those dogs are going. Of course, they might tree left, they might tree right, they might tree behind you. You never know. But I always figured that was added me squirrels to my bag. So if I wasn't walking, I'd walk pretty fast. You'd get behind pretty quick. So it depends on how good squirrels is moving, you know. If they're moving, you're treeing, shoot, every 100 yards, you know, every 150 yards you're treeing. You might be split treed. You might be treed 2 or 3 different places, you know, who's hunting what. And I always try to stay up with the dogs a little bit, and because if you're standing there and that dog treed in there 450, that's a little over a quarter mile. Then you're going to have to walk a quarter mile to him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If you're walking the whole time, you might only have to walk a couple 100 yards to him. I never kept a dog I could watch. If I could see him in the woods, he was a cull to me. that's just the way that it was. You know, I wanted a hard hunting, fast dog that can do it. Cold squirrels, medium squirrels, red hot squirrels, they run up my sight. I want them to be able to do all that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't care if a dog works a bad squirrel, but they got to work it fast. You know, they got to sort of know. They pick it up pretty quick. You know, this squirrel went here, and they'd hit it here, there, and here and there. And next thing you know, they'd be pulled up on a tree down there. And we're lucky we got a lot of vines and trees down here. Big trees. And you go in there and somebody get jaking on that vine, and the blasting started. The most I ever killed out of one tree was 9. That was a pretty fun. I had 2 guys with me that never had been with a dog in their life. And you ought to seen them. They was shooting and loading and hollering, and I guess that made squirrel hunters out of them.
I bet it did.
Yep. And me, my son, and my brother-in-law, we treed 8 up a tree one day. They were shooting 22s. And actually killed all 8 of them squirrels. Didn't let nothing get away. I was shooting at 22 too. And, that was probably about the best shooting and the best tree I ever had. Actually, my brother-in-law killed one in mid-flight, like shooting a mallard duck. He shoots an old Remington pump with, never shoots nothing but shorts. That's all he shoots in.
Yeah. What's your squirrel gun of choice?
I've got a 550 Remington semi-automatic. I've had it a long time. A buddy of mine in El Dorado, Billy Nesbitt, worked at a big gun store down there, and he called me one day and said, "Hey, I got a super nice 550 M." I said, "How nice is it?" He said, "Hey, it looks like brand new." I mean, an old fella brought it in, about my age. At that time, he was really an old fella. And we got all his guns. He didn't have nobody to leave them to, and he was too old to hunt. I went down there, and it was just, looked like it just been wiped down, put in a gun case, and sat there for years and years. But I can't remember if it's a -1, a 550 -1, but it didn't have the grooves for a scope. I had to have it tapped and put a scope on it. It's a shooter too. I mean, if you miss a squirrel's eye with it, it was you. It wasn't a gun. At 30 yards, it'll just cut a hole. You can shoot it 15 times and stick your little finger through the hole it shoots.
Mm-hmm.
I shoot subsonics all the time. Long rifle subsonics. Yeah. It just don't make that crack. A little easier on your ears. I like it because you can hear the thump. When you hit him, it sounds like you're hitting water with a boat paddle. Whop.
Mm-hmm. What brand of shells you like to shoot?
Most of the time, I'll shoot a CCI.
Yep.
I got several guns. I got 2 of them 550. I got a Model 12 Winchester pump, 12 gauge. Model 12 Winchester pump, 20 gauge. Got a Beretta over and under 20 I shoot sometimes. Got a Ithaca Ultra featherweight, 20 gauge. And a pile mower. I can't remember all the crap in there. But I've just collected them up over the years, and I got my baby, which is 32 years old. He really likes guns, so I don't know what all he got. He's a big duck hunter, so he got them fancy guns, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't be caught dead shooting one of them old Winchester pumps.
You mentioned earlier that you've got 4 dogs buried at your place, and Whiskers was one of them. Tell me about the other 3.
Now, that Whiskers was an old dog. She's been dead now forever. But I got, he sent me 2 black males, solid black, 2 solid red females. I got a buddy up the other side of Fordyce I hunting with, Jeff Mosley, and he had a litter of puppies that he had raised out of my dogs, you know, my stock of dogs, and they was pretty. I mean, he had and I had the stud dog that he used, so I got a puppy for the stud dog. Well, I said, well, take one of these black males, and I'll take another one of them spotted-looking dogs, and sort of flame colored. I like something a little bit oddball every once in a while, but so he got him, and I got a yellow and white, sort of spotted, a lot of yellow under the female, and I got a black and white spot in it. It looked like the old pepper dog. And funny colored, they sort of got lightning stripes running up in the black. But he took his little old male, and at 4 months old, he started training. He got video and everything. And he's made a heck of a nice dog. And they're not even nowhere close to being a year old. But he's already turned down $3,500 for him, so. And mine has stood up in the pen since I got puny. But I got a solid black male. I call him Sly. And I got 2 solid red ones. I call them big girl, little girl. I just run out of names. I got one more right at this second. I can't even remember what I named her. But all 4 of these dogs are really nice looking dogs. They just Mullins dogs when you look at them, you know. You know what they are when you see them. Hildebrand, he won a big hunt. I can't remember what hunt it was, but this year with a 10-and-a-half-year-old Mullins dog. That's pretty good for an old gray-faced dog.
Was his Diesel dog?
Diesel. That's who it was. Yeah.
Is he? I was wondering earlier when you mentioned him if that Diesel dog was out of your stock.
Yeah, he's out of my old Slick dog, and then he's out of a female that I sold. He's out of a female that I sold her mama and daddy to the guy in Louisiana, and that's Wade got that female from him. And hey, she's a nice dog. I'm talking about a really nice dog. And but first time he come up here and went hunting with me, I had Pepper. She's a black and white dog. She's a powerhouse. I mean, I looked over at my buddy old Joel Todd that I hunt with all the time. And this was in a hunt about an hour deep. I said, Joel Todd, I said, we're behind. He said, huh? I said, we're behind. I said, that little Jilt's done treed more squirrels than I've treed. And a little while, by the end of the hunt, I'd been caught up with her and might have went by her a squirrel or two. Yeah, but she's a nice dog. I guess she's still alive. Wade's old diesel dog's still alive. He got another dog off of me. I raised a litter. I had two black and white ones, two red and white ones, and Shane got a black and white one. Wade got a black and white one, but Wade sold him for, I don't know, big money, up in the thousands, 8,000 or something, you know, big money. And but he died. The guy coon hunted him a bunch too, and he's summertime coon hunting. I guess he got too hot. They don't really know, but he was dead the next morning. So, he was a good squirrel dog too. We took him and my old pepper dog one morning. We killed a 4-man limit. And it was out of the woods back to the truck at 11 o'clock. That's 48 squirrels here. But she kept up with him. They was about even, you know, I'd say. But Wade probably tell you that pepper dog was about the best he'd seen. But Shane got another brother to him. He's black with white trim on him. Beautiful dog, natural bobtail. And he's been in a lot of competition hunts. The first competition hunt, he went with him over in Mississippi. He won the bench show, won the treeing contest, and won the hunt with him. That's about as good as you do. They had 3 trophies. He won all of them. And he was about 11 months old. I might be missing a month or two, but Shane's pretty proud of him. Mm-hmm. He's a squirrel dog now. I mean, a squirrel dog. When you let him out, he's going to find you a squirrel. He ain't going to run out there 100 yards, turn around, come back, throw his feet up on your leg. You hunt him where there's scarce squirrels and stuff. Half a mile ain't nothing for him, you know. Mm-hmm. You better have good boots on. I mean, they better fit good. If there's plenty of squirrels, he'll tree them as he gets to them. But if they're not, he'll just go, you know. He's there to tree a squirrel. He ain't going to come back to these trees. Good tree dogs stay. I don't know how long he'll stay on a tree. Half a day, probably.
What was the favorite dog you ever had?
I guess old Whiskers was probably my favorite dog. I've had a slew of guys. I had a dog here I called Slick. He was a red with white trim dog. In fact, he's the daddy of the dogs I was just telling you about. He's the Shane and Wade got. And Jake Alexander's got 2 dogs out of him down there. They're red and white trimmed like he is. And there's several, but Slick, Pup, Whiskers, that's been my top favorites, you know. Mm-hmm. I've just been super lucky too. I've had so many, I call them once in a lifetime type dogs, you know. I've had so many people tell me they'd come down here and hunt, and some of them stay 2 days, you know, and I'm glad you showed me what a squirrel dog's supposed to be. because I never had a squirrel dog. But now I know what a good one's supposed to look like. We've had so many people come down here with a good. If I had as many squirrels as y'all got, I could treat the same amount, you know. And we tell them come down. We'll take anybody hunting. You know, it's fun for us, but most of the time at dinner time, they wouldn't take the dog back out of the box. It's really sort of pitiful, you know, because when a 60-year-old man told you, and he never has had a squirrel dog, but he's had squirrel dogs all his life.
Mm-hmm.
But we are in good squirrel country, though. You know, we got big woods, big trees, lots of vine, just squirrely. Most everything down here is a gray squirrel, but we kill a few fox squirrels. Kill a black fox squirrel every once in a while. Oh, excuse me.
Do you got any advice for someone that's interested in getting into squirrel dogs?
Go with the mama and the daddy to whatever you're gonna buy before you ever buy a dog. I'm gonna tell you one of the worst deals we ever got on a coon dog was we had a Baptist preacher, and I'm a Southern Baptist. He shucked us. He shucked us on a black and tan hound, you know. But don't, just because the guy says, oh, yeah, it's out of a pair of great dogs, go hunt with them. Because, especially anybody that's dog dealing, they'll lie to you in a heartbeat. Because everybody always sees the best in their dogs. They don't see the faults. They see the best. Oh, yeah. Real Peer, he's one of the best males in the country. But check him out, you know, and do your homework. Because these dogs now sell for, $500 puppies, and some of them even more. And you can get hooked in a heartbeat, you know. Buy something with a good reputation, you know. Yeah, them dogs are good, you know. I know so-and-so's got one of them. These, by reputation, you know. People will tell you what's good and not. And first thing, if it's crossed up, you're just spitting in the wind, just about, you know. Don't let me know. I ain't saying there's great dogs. It's a half Feist and a half cur, and half bird dog and half Feist and all that. And if you want that kind of dog, you know, that's what you need to buy. But I'm always looking for the future. You know, if I take this dog and it really makes a super dog. And I tell people, hey, you get a dog from me that makes a really nice dog. I said, it's well worth your effort to drive to, you can find a good Mullins that you can breed that female to. Keep that blood in them. And I've seen people do right the opposite to me talking all I could. Well, I bred it to so-and-so dog. He's a half rat terrier and a half blue heeler. He's a good squirrel dog, though. Yeah. You might not get a puppy at a tree, you know.
Yeah. Well, Jody, that's about all the time we've got for the interview today. I have really enjoyed the conversation.
Well, I'm sorry I couldn't talk a little bit better today. I'm about half choked up.
Oh, no, you did just fine. Well,
man, it was good talking to you.
Yep. Well, like I said, I sure appreciate your time and you agreeing to come on here and let me interview you. Uh, and I just want to thank you from me and from everybody that's going to listen to this.
All right.
All right, everybody. Take care and keep wearing out that boot leather. I just want to give everyone that's listening a sincere thank you. Getting this podcast going has been a project. I really hope you're enjoying it, and if you don't mind, give the show a good rating and review wherever you're listening to it at, or share it on your social media to help get some traction. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to your feedback.